Look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
Good morning and welcome. It's the early morning Sunday show, which means it's Sunday. Unless you're watching on a Monday, don't let the show confuse you. I mean, I'll confuse you enough when I talk about records. Cheers. All right. So this week, it's brand new, some really good new music. Really good new music. I had some other stuff that was recommended by one of you. And I went out and bought a couple albums. Holy cow, that was really, really good. Found something when I was out in one of the record stores, a really kind of a psyche African thing, and yeah, a couple other things. I mean, there's great music again this week. The opening, that's the Dragon Boat races they have here. We went down there last weekend to watch the Dragon Boat races and to spend exorbitant amounts of money going to a food truck. Food trucks are crazy. I mean, what they charge for something is just like, what? Really? But you do it anyway because it's a food truck and you want to try it. But the Dragon Boat races were cool. It's just, it's in the mid 90s. It's not even afternoon, and so you can only handle that so long. But there's live music, as you saw. So yeah, there's just something to do, but you can handle it real long. It's just way too hot. But there was a lot of Dragon Boat races. It's a big deal. It's a big deal here. So yeah, that was kind of fun. When I get done with this, I have to go out and clean pools. Get a little short day. So I was like, God, they're asking me to clean a pool? Wow, we're in trouble now. And I get the big ass pool, so actually a couple. So yeah, it's going to be hot, but you get out early. That's why we do this really early, so I can go out and clean a pool. So that's my day off, folks. Yeah, yay for me. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I think, yeah, I've got more records coming in. Too much. But let's begin. Let's begin with this. So we are going to focus. Today we are going down under. And we're going down under big, okay? Not just not just Australia. We're going to New Zealand also. But we're going to start in Australia. And this is a terrific album. It came out just recently. Orb, O-R-B, not The Orb, like in the UK, which is actually a very good group. I do like The Orb, but this is Orb. And Tailem Bend. Tailem Bend. It's the name of a town in Australia. Mike Rankin. Some of you know him as Ben. Don't be fooled. But Mike Rankin would know all about it. He's probably been there. I bet you he's gone record shopping there or something like that. From what I read, I believe it's out like in boonies. But this is a three-piece band from Victoria. That's the province or whatever. Formed in 2014. Originally, they were called Frowning Cloud. But that's something I haven't ever heard. I've never heard of that Frowning Cloud. So kind of cool. Music, dark, sonically, this kind of massive guitars happening, and but not heavy metal. Psych, you could say there's psych in there, definitely on this. There is, I would have to put some kind of shoegaze type stuff, just hard rock, stoner rock. I mean, their inspirations were Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult. Okay, so that that just gives you a reference point here on where these guys are coming from. This is their fourth album. Took them 6 years to get this one out. Stuff like COVID and crap like that, but this is really good. And on this album, they're moving away from the stoner rock, and they actually add funky grooves into their music, and there is some funky stuff happening. Now, we're not talking Ohio Players funky, okay? We're talking, we play loud guitars, but the back, our drums and bass got a kind of a funk riff happening. Really, really neat stuff. I mean, there's this Tailem Bend. Ben, Mike, you can tell me if I'm saying, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. It starts off, and it does have, especially when it goes into just the instrumental part of it, I mean, really, really heavy guitars going on. Just kind of comes right at you. The second song, I'm going to give you a taste of that one, also the first one, I believe. Karma Comes. It's like these guys drank a lot of early Pink Floyd. It sounds like Sid Barrett, Pink Floyd. It was really, it was quite good. Can't Do That was one, and that one just had heavy fuzz guitars happening. It's exciting stuff. This thing is really good. And on that one, the Can't Do That, that's where they start going to a jam. They go into this jam, and there is just a funky beat happening, and they bring in an organ. Really neat. This is very good. I am really delighted with this album. You probably want to see, you're saying, but Steve, does it have colored vinyl? Why, yes, it does. My wife comes up and goes, ooh, that's pretty. That's what she, so she thought it was pretty. And for those of you, there you go. First one's in. Always get the special. For those of you that like to download, of course, I think only one person's allowed to do it, but there you have it. You'd think I would download it, huh? There's my computer. See, I got a work computer. That one's even old. So there we go. All right, Orb. Friend Daryl Vickers, his channel Off the Beaten Track. He doesn't do videos anymore, which is too bad. I loved his videos. Daryl's out of Canada, and I think Toronto, and I hope he comes to U.S., and I hope he comes to Denver, as I really want to meet him, or I need to go there and meet him. Follow him on Facebook. Just an extremely funny guy, but very smart and sarcastic. But he sent me a couple downloads. He goes, here, try these. And so I downloaded them. And it was from someone I had never heard of, Tami Neilson. Now, Headley, a fat bearded man, records. Oh man, I just messed up Headley's channel name, but fat bearded man, something like that. But Headley made, called her out, said that, well, the next album was his album of the year last year. So what is Tami Neilson? She's born in Canada, but moved in 2007 to New Zealand and now considers herself a New Zealander. In fact, so much that she was the best female artist in New Zealand in 2010, but also 2011, and again in 2014. So I would say New Zealand has open arms, has embraced her and made her part of their country. She's born in 77, so she's still young and spry, at least when considering my age. This is Sassafras is the name of the album. Sassafras, such a fun, that's just one of those fun words that you wish you could bring more out in conversation. Sassafras. It's fun to say. There's really no reason to say it. There's sassafras, I think soda or tea or something, but that's beside the point. This came out in 2018. This is filled with, it has in here upbeat party rockers, there's rockabilly, there's kind of Eagle style ballads, I would say, string type ballads, late night jazz croonings going on, and even some tropicalica. I mean, it's all over the map, folks. It's just crazy, all the different things, to the point where I think it's a little too much. We could have done a little bit less and focused on maybe a few less genres. But the fact is, her voice is awesome. It's really, really good. She's considered country, kind of folk, but when she does rockabilly, holy cow, Wanda Jackson, look out. It is really good. She just has this strong, husky voice, very sassy. She sings about female empowerment. That's what her albums are about, hey, I'm taking over my life, and here's what we're going to do. Guys, just get out of the way, or I'm running you over. It's quite good. It's kind of a sultry, cool songs happening. Yeah, very, very good. There's even Manitoba Sunrise at Motel 6. So there, we got a Canadian. There is something from Canada in here. Great album. Tami Neilson, if you haven't heard her, wow, very good. And probably all of you have heard of her, and I'm the last. But Daryl, this was great. But so, if you buy one, you have to buy two if you like it. Generally, I can buy three, and because I get kind of stupid at times. But this is the one that came out, her most recent one came out in 2022, Kingmaker. Very autobiographical. She really goes back into her life, dealing with her family, and talks about a lot of this. There's just, her family, she grew up as part of a singing group called the Neilsons, and I believe it was there's 5 of them in the family, and they traveled around and they sang and that kind of stuff. Okay, I probably never made it big. I don't know. Daryl, you have every weird album that's ever been made. You probably have something from the Neilsons. Let me know in the comments. But this Kingmaker, so it just starts with Kingmaker, which is kind of this melodramatic ballad, and then it just kind of picks up. Very cinematic with these strings and everything, and reverb guitar. You'd think David Lynch had something to do with it. Sounds good. I'm going to give you a little sample of that. But she also does on here, and I guess this is kind of a hit, a ballad with Willie Nelson, Beyond the Stars. I'll let you listen to a little bit of that. I'm not a huge Willie Nelson fan, so much so that I don't own any Willie Nelson. I don't mind him. I never say I want to play Willie Nelson, but it was very good. I liked it, and their voices really did well together. Again, it's about women empowerment is what she's singing about on here, but it's looking at things from her life. I mean, you got Baby, what was this one? Baby, You're a Gun, which is a really I liked it. It's like a spaghetti western happening. I mean, that's the sound you get, the spaghetti western. Then you got like Careless Woman, Song, really, the instrumentation is hand claps, and there's a clarinet. Now I struggle with a clarinet. I do. In band I struggled listening to a clarinet, and uh, jazz clarinet. I don't. I guess I don't like the clarinet that much. I'm sorry, but it's obnoxious. I think. I mean, it just great. It's clarinet. I'm just yeah. I don't want a clarinet, an album clarinet music, but it's there. The Grudge, another kind of cool song. She just belts it out. She just comes out strong. But there's these violins that dramatically well up, and it's just kind of a chilling start. And it talks about her parents' struggle as she was growing up, and what had going on. Just great. It really, really is. You can find these things on YouTube and stuff. It's worth looking into. Great voice on her. So yeah, Tami Neilson, Kingmaker. Headley gave it Album of the Year last year. So good.
Here in my heart, we will never depart, darling, we will fly beyond the stars. Can you hear the guitars? They are calling you up to be with me beyond the velvet sky, darling, will you and
I picked this up at a record store. Aido. Actually, I pick up a lot of records at record stores, don't I? But Aido. This was neat. This was on the wall, and I grabbed it, and I brought it up, and I go, well, what is this? He goes, well, let's put it on. And he goes, all right. And within the 10, 20 seconds, I decided I need to buy it. It's a white label promo. Of course, we have the recommended cuts on here. Very, very neat. So, Aido, formed in 72. And I believe broke up in 72. Okay, it was this, kind of came and went. Produced by Ronnie Lane, which makes it very interesting. Afro-funk psych. Probably best describes it. There is just some really great guitar work in here. The drumming is really neat. It really gets into that rhythm, the drum and the bass. Some people might find that repetitious, but that's what it's about. It's about getting the groove going, and they really do a heck of a job with that, especially on the first song. The first song is Awade, and it's more African type singing. But then it goes into Psychedelic Baby, and I'm going to do a sample of that one. And let's bring out the wah-wah and the fuzz guitars, and fun stuff. I mean, and you could see the British influences in here, okay? In fact, their guitarist was from Britain. Who was it? I can't even think of his name now. Maybe it's not even in here. Their guitarist was Peter Andrews. But a lot of these guys, they have the percussion, and from Ghana, from Nigeria, and from Jamaica. So you have that going on. Their bassist is Biddy White, and he wrote most of all the material for this. this is just a wonderful album. It's inexpensive. I've never heard of it. It's just there it was on a wall, and it said, "Steve, please buy me," and I did. I listened to it, and we're both happy. I think he's happy or she's happy or whatever with me. So yeah, really good. Aido, and there is different groups called Aido, by the way. Google that and you'll get all over the place. Hard to find that though.
Anytime, say what you want. Psychedelic, baby. Take what you need, yeah, yeah. Psychedelic, baby. You keep telling me the things I ought to know. You know I can't forget you anytime. You look so good now.
All right, next, this was an EP, but in 2016 they expanded it into a full. They added stuff to it. This is the Screaming Blue Messiah's first album. You know, they formed in '83, broke up in '90. They came from some different groups. This came out in 1984. It was an extended play, and so I saw that. I thought it was, but then they got a whole bunch more stuff. So I thought I was doing a Paris Hilton here, and getting that now. Harris Pilton. I'm sorry, Paris Hilton. Maybe she likes it too, but Harris Pilton from the UK. Funny guy. Needs to do more videos. But so it's no longer an EP. They've added in live tracks on here. But this is the first album from the Screaming Blue Messiahs. I am a big Screaming Blue Messiahs fan. Albums are dirt cheap. You can find them anywhere dirt cheap. They're the ones that do I Want to Be a Flintstone. But the first full album was Gun Shy. That's just phenomenal, I think. What's interesting is they have some of these songs are the first time they're doing them, like Someone to Talk To's on here, and it's totally different than what they came out when they put it on their full album. Totally different. But you have Holiday Head, Wild Blue Donder, Let's Go Down to the Woods and Pray, Pray, Pray for a Brighter Day. That's on here. Yeah, this is great. I really enjoyed it, very much so. And we have Exciting Blue vinyl. Hey, you know what? I cheated you guys. I don't think I showed you what was happening here. Look at that, the Kingmaker. Wowzers. Did I show that? Maybe not. No, I know I did. There's the inner sleeve for Kingmaker. That's the thing. You come, you want to see this stuff, and then I totally cheat you out of it. So, sorry. Forgive me. I just lost a whole bunch of people. But yeah, super happy to find this thing. Again, not expensive. Screaming Blues Messiahs just never got big, but they had such good stuff. Very much in your face, raucous, raw rock and roll. That's what they're about. And look at those. Aren't those those are Mustangs, I think. I don't think they're Thunderbolts. Maybe they are Thunderbolts. I don't know. But okay, whatever. I am moving today. I got to go clean pool, so you got to kind of move. Kronos Quartet, doing Philip Glass, okay? Performs Philip Glass. This originally came out in 1995. This is the Vinyl Me Please version, and it comes in beautiful blue. Is that the same kind of blue? Yeah, a lot of blue happening here. That's more of a clear blue. Okay. Okay, so this is on vinyl. I got the free credit. Well, actually, it didn't work, but I thought, oh, you know what? I like the Kronos Quartet. I don't have much from them. They've had 40 albums, so you can make a whole collection of just Kronos Quartet, but they've made some pretty cool stuff. They started in San Francisco. They started in Seattle. They started in Seattle, but eventually moved to San Francisco, actually fairly early on. They met Philip Glass. They were working with him and helping him on a Mishma, a soundtrack, and they played. And actually, they became friends, and they collaborated with Philip Glass a lot. String Quartet number 5 on what it starts off. I'm going to give you a sample from that. Philip Glass wrote for the Kronos Quartet. Now, Philip Glass is a classical composer that a little avant-garde, a little out there at times, and so I was a little nervous about this. Going, gee, what am I getting into? It's Philip Glass. Will this be really weird? Okay, and I know sometimes you guys listen to some of the stuff I put in and go, well, that's pretty weird, Steve, but it's not as weird as some stuff. Let me tell you, Philip Glass gets out there, but this was very relaxing, very listenable, not avant-garde, I felt, at all. And because yeah, it was really good music. They do it's a 2-album set, and each side has a different string quartet. Side C though, they do string quartet number 2, last 7 minutes. So you kind of got cheated on the third side, but otherwise, 15, 20 some minutes. Good stuff. Kronos Quartet is good. They've changed members for a while there, though it was the same people for a long time, but it's kind of a revolving cast of characters that play in the Kronos Quartet. I don't think there's anything special in here, because why give us anything special? And of course not. So there we go. Yeah, that's what we got for the week, obviously, because there it is. I have a lot of stuff coming in. Check out my podcast with Jim Gleason, 2 guys talking about records, and I think we're talking greatest hits. Steve from All the World's a Stage did a thing on greatest hits. And I've been planning to do one for the longest time, but I just blow it off and just, probably no one's going to watch it or whatever. Kind of earworms song thing. No one really watches that. But I thought, you know what? I told Steve, I says, I think maybe you finally got me to go in and do something on greatest hits. So we're going to talk about that. 2 guys talking about records, and I probably will do a video on it too on my own. So please check that out. Thank you as always for tuning in and watching. Thank you for your comments. Always a pleasure to hear from you guys. Some of you are like family to me every week, and yeah, it's always interesting. There's some pretty damn funny comments too. Appreciate it. Everyone have a fantastic week, and see you next week. Bye.